Disclaimer: this video goes into some personal stories about verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse. Please understand that I am no expert, but I feel it is important to get this message out there. If these things are triggering or upsetting for you, I suggest you either skip the video or take breaks when needed.
So, I told myself I wasn't going to make these kinds of videos, but I kinda wanted to share this story. Plus, my sister said I really should. I usually tell this story as a joke to friends or family, focusing more on how dumb I was back then rather than how serious the situation was. But I don't want to make light of these kinds of relationships. Enough people out there already view these relationships as a joke. So without further ado, let's get into it. When I was in the 9th grade, freshman year of high school, I met a girl who we're gonna call Diamond. Diamond and I met through a Facebook page for fans of fantasy and anime. At first she seemed caring, comforting, and all around sweet. When I met Diamond, I had never dated or even thought about dating someone, yet I knew I liked her. To make a long story short, she liked me too, and although it was long distance, we started dating. Looking back now, there were a lot of red flags I should have seen. I guess I was just too naive to notice. One of the first flags was a little more subtle. Diamond had a habit of talking about guys from TV shows, comics, and other media that she liked. She would then compare me to them. And yes, I know a lot of girls do this from time to time, but it got to the point that she would critique everything I did and constantly use the line, "Why can't you be more like him?" against me. It was a painful feeling, knowing my girlfriend would rather be with seemingly anybody but me. The second, more obvious red flag was what I call blocking. Diamond started to block me off from friends and family. She would want me to always have my phone with me and constantly be texting her. It got to the point that I would have an anxiety attack if I wasn't able to have my phone with me. I would always double check to make sure I had my phone on me and it was charged before I left the house. Of course, my family made jokes about how I was always on my phone, and I guess I can't blame them. Eventually, though, it was no longer jokes. I would get in trouble for not socializing or talking at family events, yet I still wouldn't. I was too busy making sure I was talking to Diamond enough. I was tethered and blocked off. And the reason she was able to have so much control over me was because of flag number 3, a little thing I call guilting. Diamond made a habit of guilt-tripping me on the rare occasion that I wasn't able to text her when she wanted. She would say things like, "You obviously don't care for me," or "You must not have time to date me," and I would end up spending the next hour apologizing for my phone being dead or my parents not letting me use it. These small jabs would eventually grow into threats, not against me, but against herself. If at any point I did something that upset her, whether it be not texting fast enough, arguing over something small, or even just saying something that she took the wrong way, she would throw herself into a depressive fit. Diamond would begin to make these threats saying, "I'm going to cut myself because of you, I'm going to kill myself because you don't love me," etc. And of course, I once again spent forever trying to make things right. I would spend whole nights not getting any sleep because I thought I was responsible for making sure she didn't follow through. I felt guilty. I felt like shit. I felt like I had no choice. And that's exactly where she wanted me. A final thought. I did eventually get out of this relationship. I got out through means and by doing things that I'm not exactly proud of, but that's a story for another time. Although I got out, it did leave a lot of lasting problems. To this day, I feel a strong sense of anxiety if I am not giving my every waking moment to a relationship. Since Diamond was my first relationship, I thought that's how all relationships were supposed to be, and it's something I need to move away from. Abuse, whether physical, verbal, emotional, or psychological, is not something that should just be shoved aside or brushed off as not being that serious. I just want to let anyone out there who may be dealing with this or has dealt with it in the past, you're not alone. There is hope and a way out. If you're in a similar situation or know someone in a similar situation, please seek help. It's a terrible thing to be trapped in, and the sooner you get out, the better.